Okay, it's 6:30, so we're going to start in just a minute. You, I'm not going to be doing any rolling around, so I'm on the hardwood floor actually in the kitchen dojo, complete with a picture of O-Sensei that Mark Valentine gave us last year, so it's coming in handy. Um, we'll do a little warm up on the ground only, but other than that, we'll be standing. So if you have a mat laid out, you may not need it, especially if it's going to slide around. So with that, let's bow in. Onegaishimasu. Forgot to mention you can bow standing too. Part of the floor can get a little hard. Let's warm up. Down, up, down, up. We'll reach and move through these. Legs. Sink into this a little bit. Look over your shoulders. And now I'm going to get down on the floor. I recommend if you have wood, you don't just roll, take a seat gently, and now you can roll back. Another thing about rolling back, usually on the mat we roll straight back. You might feel that you're going to hit your tailbone a little bit. So when I roll back on a wood, I actually roll back on one side of my body like we do on a back roll. Still stretch like this. Up, cross your legs. Roll back up, roll on one side of your body. More padding on the sides. Up. Can't see myself, hopefully you can see me. So flex your feet, engage your quads. We're going to hinge at the hips and just lean forward. You should feel the skin on the back of your legs stretching. Now we're going to point and round, different hamstring stretch. Open. One side, then the other side. Doing this variation. In center. Chest to the floor if Liz is joining us. Okay, feet together. Let's do the same thing. Well, first one, we'll hinge at the hips. Lean over, neutral neck. Now we'll round everything. Ankles. Toes. Arches. Shake. Other side. Toes. Arch. Here's another one. You may not wish to sit seiza on your hardwood floor, but if it feels okay, go ahead and do this. Otherwise, you can do, I'm going to do this for the second one, on my toes. Still gets the stretch. It's a little easier on my legs. Let's do it again. Now let's do circles. Reverse. A little faster. Let's breathe. In. Everything down. And slowly exhale. Slower on this one. Shake all the air out of yourself. Okay, let's skip the ukemi portion. So the theme today's class is how far apart are your feet and how together they are. I've seen some exercises over the years. I forget who taught me this one, but when you're looking for the perfect width of hamni, obviously this is too far. I can't move, right? So one way to determine that is just take some steps, stop in your regular gait, turn your back foot. I'm in hamni. So this is sort of like regular just strolling. Stop, turn your back foot, now I'm in hamni. So do that a couple times on your own. You might want to go diagonally if you have space limitations. So when you're in hamni, you're thinking everything forward. My belt's forward, my gaze is forward, my intention is forward. Come right out of this back foot. Watch out if your belt is too far sideways, right? This is like fencing, right? So if you're too far sideways, your center's over here, but you're looking this way. So have everything this way. Okay, so now we've got our hamni established, pretty good distance. Let's work on footwork for pivoting. Let me get a good spot here. So go ahead, pivot on your own a couple times. We'll go, you can go front, back, I'll go left, right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you were a little unstable, there are some things that it could be. If you're pivoting on your heels, it's very difficult. If you're pivoting both at the same time, it's very difficult. The pivot is actually, or you could try it this way, there may be other ways to do it. Pivot is actually, my front foot is here. I'm going to turn it into that turns it into my back foot. So I do that first. 1, 2. This is a slow version of it, right? 1, 2. So I turn this sort of square, and then I turn this way. 1, 2. 1, 2. You guys try it. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So you can speed it up. It becomes almost simultaneous, but if you try to do it at the same time, you're going to lose your balance. So let's use that pivot, and let's use that distance that we discovered from walking, and we're going to do 8 ways direction. I'm going to face this way. So we'll do left first. So hopefully you know 8 ways. If not, follow along and watch Wendy Kopka's video after this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going north, south, west, east. We're doing those 4, and then the diagonal ones. Let's do it again. 2, step. 3, pivot that we just worked on. 4, 5 is a step, pivot. 6, 7 is a step, pivot. 8. Now with the regular count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switch to the right side. 1, pivot. 2, step. 3, pivot. 4, step. 5, pivot. 6, 7 is a step. 8 is a pivot. Let's go regular. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's do this one more time slowly, and think about where is your belly pointed, how far your feet are apart. So let's do left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it might be helpful to film yourself or look at yourself in the mirror and see if you see any of this. 1, 2. This is me swinging my arms. Instead of having my whole center this way, having my whole center this way. Right? You have to have your whole intention, the directions of going. So another way you can determine how far is comfortable for your feet apart is this great exercise that I saw Osawa Sensei show us several times, and it goes a little bit like this. And get my feet in the shot. So you can start with your feet very much together. Have your center is right between your feet. And now you're going to lift your feet up, one right after another. Right? You're in Hami, but I'm lifting my feet up, one right after another. My head should be pretty stable. My shoulders should be pretty stable. Now widen that stance. Lift it, widen it a little more, and you'll start to see feel your head bouncing back and forth. This is too wide. This is too wide for Hami. I can't move very quickly because I have to shift all my weight to this foot, then all my weight to this foot. If I'm a little closer, my weight's right in the middle. So he has very close stance. But you can probably find right where you're about ready to tip and come back in just a little bit and look down. It's probably the same distance of when you did the walking and turning your feet. So you can try that on your own. Let's do Tenkan exercise, and we will and pay attention to how far apart your feet are. We determine what's comfortable. So let's pay attention to how far that is. I'll start going this way too. So first one, slide in, step back. I'll see how far away your foot is. Can you lift your feet up like this and not bounce around? That's good. Maybe sometimes you go too far back. Now, can you do it without bouncing? No, you're off balance here. So make sure you have similar stance here when you start. Similar feet, your feet are a similar distance apart when you finish. So Tenkan, left side, 1. We're going to step in, step back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop on 8. How's your foot distance? Are you balanced? Do you have any wavering? If you have any wavering, you have something to work on. And that's what we're doing. We're working on small things here, trying to get 1% better every day. Let me see. Let's pause Tenkan for a minute and Yeah. So what about when you want to have a larger movement, right? So we have our feet this far apart. This is great for this. But what if I want to get from here all the way over there? It's going to take 2 times. So I mentioned before, Osawa Sensei tends to have a close stance. So you can try that too. Have a close stance. Now your back foot can generate power, get you all the way up here, right? So if you have your stance close together, you can go much faster, much farther. This is an exaggeration. Here I can barely move at all. Here's where I'm comfortable. I can move pretty well. But if I set up to have my stance very close, I can really go forward. So let's do that together. Start with your feet together, and we're going to slide and then pivot. So I'm going to slide. My feet are back together again. Pivot. Right? 1, 2. 1, 2. And slide. Pivot. Slide. Pivot. Slide. Pivot. Show it from the side. Again, you can go diagonally if you don't have a lot of space, like I do. I actually have quite a bit here, but if you have a square space, diagonally would be pretty good. I'll go sideways. Slide, pivot, slide, pivot. Slide, pivot, slide, oh, pivot. Lost my balance. So now, let's do 8 ways. Big. All right, so here's where, if you're on a rug or a mat, be careful of it sliding. You gotta make sure you're safe. So we're gonna start with our feet together again. And probably can't see that. Start with my feet together so I can make a big slide. But I gotta start back here. So we'll go left side first. This is big 8 ways, right? So 1. So 1, pivot. 2, pivot. 3, pivot. 4, pivot. 6, 7, 8. All right, let me see. Here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should really feel that back foot driving the motion. Back foot's driving the motion all the way up through your hands. Let's try right side. Big 8 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It felt a little wobbly. I had a couple in there. All the other stuff still applies. Have to have your weight over your body. Turns are good. All right, let's go back to Tenkan, how we were doing that. And we're going to do our first technique of the class with a partner. So your partner has Katatsutori or Marotatori here. You're going to Tenkan around, and then I'm going to throw him. So it looks like this. So I Tenkan around and throw. If I Tenkan and I step way back, maybe I don't have enough energy to throw my partner. So we're going to Tenkan and have that narrow stance. Tenkan, narrow stance, my feet, and when I throw, I can really get out there. Right? So Tenkan, narrow stance, get some distance. Diagonal is probably good for this. Tenkan, narrow stance, get some distance. Try that on your own a little bit. There's lots of variations to this, lots of little subtleties. These are the kinds of things you can work on at home. See where your balance is, picture where your partner is. My partner is connected here, Tenkan around. I don't want to disturb my partner too much, and I want to bring them up and throw. There's another variation. You see Osawa Sensei do, and you see Matt May Sensei do. I'm not going to do it justice, but you come around, you still have your narrow stance, but you bring your partner down first and then out. All right, so it might look more like this. Bring your partner down and then out. So try that. Tenkan, start the throw and then move out. Tenkan, start the throw and then move out. Go ahead a few times on your own. Okay, let's, so Rock Sensei showed Irimi Nage in his video from iHomni. We cut the hand and then come all the way in here. So Irimi Nage is another really good, you need good feet management for Irimi Nage. So let's do Shomanuchi Irimi Nage, and let's talk about the Ukemi first. So, basic strike at our dojo would be a back foot stepping in for Shomanuchi. So watch my back foot steps in, my front foot comes with the strike. Right? My back foot plants so I can have good power in the strike, but my new back foot comes forward. Without that, you end up like this, and now I'm very off balance. So when you strike, you have to have your feet come with you. So let's do that a couple times. We'll do the step-in version. So we'll start with in left hanmi, and we'll do it together. Strike. See how your feet are. Are they close together? Are they about in your hanmi? Pivot, and we'll do right side again. Strike. Now change hanmi, pivot, left foot. Strike. Pivot, left again. Strike. Do a few on your own. See if you can feel that back foot naturally coming up with the strike. So I want to be leaning over. My center has to move with the strike too. So that's very important for a couple reasons. One is so that it's a good strike. You need a good strike to hit your opponent, and you want to be in balance so they can take your balance. Another reason is on Ukemi for Irimi Nage is after I strike, if they're doing this Irimi Nage this way, the next thing that happens to me is that I get pulled off balance here, and I need to take this step. Right? Here they come in this side, cut me off balance here, and I need to take this step to stay with them. If, instead, very wide stance, now they pull me off balance, I have nothing to work with here. I can't step with this. So the reason this one comes forward is now I'm very flexible. I can pivot off. So let's do that just a little bit. Watch your surroundings. You don't have to go down. You can, I guess, if you're very flexible. But strike. And then you're going to be pulled off balance this way. So the next thing you do is step. Come back a little more. Strike. Pulled off balance this way. So the next thing you do is step. Strike. This is good close here when they're going to have me step this way. So we won't do the full Ukemi, but keep that in mind when you're striking and when you're striking at home. You'll be able to feel it if you're practicing your strike, and if your feet are too wide, you're going to already be off balance. So it's another thing you can work on at home. Let's talk about the Nage part. So now, Uke is coming to strike me here, and I need to move around. So here, your back foot's going to move first. My front foot moves first, gets too slow. And you'll see in Rock's video, put the hand down, and then this hand has to get all the way around uke. So this is going to be one of these big steps, right? I need to get strikes coming in. I need to get all the way behind. So the way you do that is by stepping with your back foot first. You'll also see Yokota Sensei turn this front foot, right? Because this front foot is going to be your new back foot. This front foot's going to be your new back foot to push you forward. So sometimes you'll see Aikidoists put this foot here when they know they want to do a Riminage. So let's do that. We're gonna step in, back foot first, resist the temptation to slide that front foot. Strike is coming. You want to put that back foot and get underneath the armpit, all the way behind them. Right? So let's step, big step, big step, big step. Other side, we're not moving that front foot. Big step, big step, big step. One more, big step. So now we're going to do that big step, but add the pivot. All right, so now when that big step comes through, I want to be behind. Okay, so I don't want to step this way and then have to pivot. I want to step already having turned. So I'm looking down. Okay. So step and your pivot. Do that slowly. I'll go up here with you guys. So left hominy, we're going to step in with the right foot. All right foot's already turned, so you just pivot. And uke should be right here. Good Riminage position. It's a big step. You got to get all the way behind uke. Left foot, right foot forward, step. So try that a little bit on your own. Swing up here, step, pivot. It's very hard to do when somebody's striking at you. It's hard not to move that front foot. This is another thing that you can work on in all your techniques when you're solo, is that you don't want to telegraph. I don't want a strike coming in and I'm going to flinch and then move into it. What I want to do is the strike's coming in, I just move. Strike's come in, I just move into my initial motion. Nothing wasted, nothing telegraphed. That was a little telegraph. So it's a good thing to think of. Let's add one last thing to that. So you're still nage. Uke is still coming in for the strike. I'm going to step all the way through. Now they're right in front of me. And I'm going to, can you see my feet? No. So again, I'm going to step all the way through. Uke is right in front of me. I'm looking down at them. Now I'm going to bring my feet together as I swing up. This is a slightly different variation of a Riminage. Feet together, turn, and now I'm ready for that explosive throw. Again. So first thing, step pivot, we've been doing. Now I'm going to raise this one up. Uke's head is here. Raise this up, turn. My feet are together. Throw. Hope that makes sense. We'll start right foot forward, left hominy, step, pivot and raise, feet together. Uke's head is here, throw. Step, pivot, up, and throw. Takes a little bit of imagination to show where they're at. Let's try the other side. Right foot, or left foot forward, right foot's coming in, step, pivot. I'm going to lift up their head as I draw my feet together and turn, throw. All the way around, together, throw. Other side, around, together, throw. Keep them on a little the same side. Together, throw. Try that a little bit on your own. Well, it's a little bit complicated. Okay, so today we're talking about distance of feet. How far are they apart? How far are they together? Um, it's really important for balance to find the right measure. You can find it like this, your right distance. You can find it like this. It's important to stay balanced when you're turning. So balls of your feet, the pivot. You know, the balls of your feet, you do one foot and then the other. Be very quick. But you're still doing one then the other. If you want more distance, you have to start with your feet closer together. Crouch down, push off. Right? Crouch down, push off. 8 ways is a great exercise for that. You can do a small 8 ways where you stop, like we did. And you can do a big 8 ways. Your feet go together and you push off. So you can work on all this stuff. So it struck me when I was doing these, talking about the feet going together and apart, that this is what we're doing right now, together and apart. So, you know, what we can do on our own and is try to improve a little bit, 1% every day, get a little bit better, and then when we can all get back and touch each other and do Aikido together, we're going to have better balance. We're going to have some better understanding of some of these movements, and then we'll hone them together. So let's do a little cool down. We'll jump. Circles. One more. Down. Up. Down. Move through them. So a little bit easier to do after a workout. Let's breathe. We'll do it standing now. Okay, we'll bow out. Thank you very much.